Right, Sunday. So IS 86 on Friday night, the Arcana night for the group. Maestro kind of did that Arcana all in one go, really. He didn't go to the end of the bed. He just kind of did a group one as he walked around everybody. He didn't stop at everyone's bed and sing them individually, so that was a new way of doing it. Great group all week. Fantastic. Everything went brilliantly. They had good weather for the jungle trip and we went to the Lapuna tree. All of that stuff worked out really well for them. And, just such an interesting group because Inna was fantastic. She absolute star how to the bravery just to continue after everything that happened with the energies that she brought. So she's thinking of doing a dieta with Maestro, as is Quinton. He was great, got on really well with Quinn. He's really seriously thinking about following the shamanic path, and I think he should. So just a wonderful group. Everyone was great. So really, not much to tell, I don't think. Too much. Fridays. It just ain't really nice for me. I mean, it was a tough ceremony because Maestro said at the start, as a introduction, he said, I want to thank Hermano Steve for, kind of sharing his energies. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't do anything. And then, but later on in the ceremony, kind of in vision space, I kind of got the idea. I had the idea that he was using me as the trash bin, so I was to suck everyone's energy out because I vomited 3 times, and there was because there was still some heavy energies even by the end of the week, especially from Inna. She still had quite a lot of that serious affliction that she had, let's say, still in her head because Maestro was over there again at one point. She told me the next day she was sort of hearing voices in her head that were unpleasant or whatever, which just so Maestro was over there at one point. I was sat up at this point because I sort of trying to see what was going on with the light that was on. I could see her. They turned around, head facing inwards. So Maestro, and he was sucking bad energy out of her head again. Probably there were just residue and remnants of the stuff that she brought here on Monday. Wow, God, that was so powerful. Whew, never seen energy like that before. Not to that level. Whew. So I vomited 3 times, but again, it's just like finding it funny. Oh, here we go. Come on then, Mama. Blah, puking in the bucket, then shaky, laughing at it, and blow it away. And then just thinking, right, next, who's next? so that's when it dawned on me that Maestro saving his energy by transferring it through me. But whether that's correct, I'll have to verify that with him. Because we're here alone at the weekend now. We've got a new group coming tomorrow, only 3 people, so it'll be 4 of us next week. So Josh is going to come in. He's got 3 weeks off, so he's going to try and do his drinks, just stay on the fruit juice diets, and he's probably going to come into ceremony on Monday, so that will be interesting. We had a good chat yesterday, see how our energies are now, because Josh's energies always used to make me really uncomfortable. So it'll be interesting to see how we've both changed, if at all. Because it must be a year and a half since I've been in ceremony with Josh. So a long time. But the best thing for me was singing with Bobinsana. It was absolutely beautiful. She came in again, and then this time she appeared as this little nymph, and it reminded me. I remember Mama Ayahuasca giving me this nymph one night back in my room for company to talk to in visions. And when she appeared, because when we were singing Cognac, no, she came earlier with one of the Icaros, and the plant spirit came earlier, and they were singing. So I was talking to Bobinsana and I thought, thank you for coming. I said, she said, oh, it's wonderful, to come and sing with you. And I said, will you be able to come back? Will you bring more plant spirits to sing when we sing Cognac later? Because it's such a lovely song. And she said, yeah, we'll come back and sing with you later. And then, so later on, there were a couple of other, like a lower male plant voice that was sort of, again, as they pop in through the wall of the maloka by your head. So that was great when we were all singing Cognac, and Bobinsana can hear her, because they're weird voices, the plant spirits, very distinct. But then in visions, um, I was dancing with her and singing along with her, and then later we were in this kind of room, and like as if it was a party because of the like atmosphere. You couldn't really see anybody else there. It was just us in the center with presence of others, but not visual. And then she took me out to a balcony area with a table, like in a restaurant or something, or a big sort of stately home, and sat opposite me, this nymph, beautiful elven nymph creature, and sat me down, and then we just had a conversation. She started teaching me more about the plants and stuff like that, and just general conversation. Really can't really remember much of it now, but it was lovely at the time. So it was just a wonderful night. I mean, it was difficult because of the vomiting, because the this probably still a lot coming from the group and the fear, inner probably still having that dark energy on board. And of course, I don't get a sense of individuals at my level of who's where the energy's coming from. I used to a bit more, but not now. With this group, it's kind of all just seems to be as one energy, and maybe I just get it. So, but that was interesting. Maestro saying thanks for Steve for helping with his energies. He's helped me a lot, and of course I was thinking, I just didn't. I don't, what have I done? I don't know. But Mama said to me a long time ago. She said, "You don't realise what you've been doing, that shamanic thing. You've been doing. That's why you've always had such a tough time in your stomach." She said, "Because not being a shaman, but you've still been doing the shaman thing and taking the energies out of the group and going into your stomach and vomiting, and that's why you've always thought that you've always had bad problems yourself with your stomach." So whether that's part of it, and that's still going on as part of that shamanic thing. So hopefully with time, I'll be able to get more skill in or gift to be able to just be able to transfer it out of the Maloka with just kind of thing, rather than having to have it still be a purging process where I have to go through the purging, because it is draining. I mean, I felt okay, but only 3 hours sleep. Yesterday after the group left, there was a big vacuum where they'd been, kind of being left on my own with them. So because it was nice to have such a nice group, but I was tired last night. I didn't even want to do rapé before bed, and my stomach was just, it was not it, my stomach actually felt tired. It wasn't like a feeling bad, it just kind of felt tired, and I really needed a good night's sleep. So I did. I got a good night's sleep last night, 7 hours. So I feel really good today. Sunday morning, just had a really good breakfast with a palta and French bread, and basically thinking, I had a lot of diarrhea, 3 or 4 times back in the room. Quinn came in, we had another chat, but he was quite, I mean, it's tired. It's the week's caught up with everybody. So, but it was fantastic. A really good week. So, again, I had a few lessons, like Ivan and Pacho or one of the spirits or Mama, I can't, just saying, you got to buckle down. You got to get meditating now, and your Spanish. Get working on your Spanish, because you're going to need it to talk to Maestro for the dietas in January. So, end of the week, I shall be leaving, get back to Iquitos, try and find, somebody told me, I can't remember now, somebody told me about a 12-hour ferry, not that freezing cold bloody 24-hour one where they freeze you to death on it, so you buy bloody blankets. I'm not going to go on that one. And it's a pain, because I have to take my whole mochila just in case something happens and I don't get back in again, and that would blow it completely. I don't think that's going to happen, because I think it's I've got to have faith in Mama that she'll fix it all as she usually does. To be able to come back and do the 3 weeks dieta with Maestro at his place. So I'm debating leaving my mochila behind and just taking enough stuff for a couple of days in the small rucksack. And take a chance, just have faith. And if I don't get back in, well, I'll be a bit fucked really, but well, I just don't think it's going to happen. We'll see. I'll have to go out through Colombia, take a couple of days rest up there over the New Year period. Maestro finishes here on the 4th of January, Saturday, and then maybe stay in Colombia for a week or so, and just to get, it's not just to stay out of the Ketos as long as possible, because I hate the Ketos. It's horrible. It really does. It's not a good place at all. You know, from the energies point of view, the people, the rubbish, the fucking dog shit. It's just horrible. The food. Quinn texted me. They'd only been back there a couple of hours. And he said, already had my first bumps. We had a lot of conversations about my path and to help him. What, you know, it's all about the tests and, you know, getting tested by mama and having bad things happen, or by bad energy, and not succumbing to it. It's virtually impossible, because that's part of the test. You learn from it. And he said, already had my first bump. I've lost my second phone. So, oh, fucking hell. He said, I knew I shouldn't have gone to the restaurant. I didn't even want to go. And I said, there's the first lesson, is, you know, making sure your stuff's secure and doing what you want to do, disregardless of the desires of others, when it's important, when you're traveling alone. And it's not that important. You know, you should, he said, I just wanted to go back to my Airbnb and get sorted, and I didn't want to go. He said, but they obviously talked him into it, and okay. And that's always a trap, because there's a lesson. You know, it's about doing the right thing and being nice to people, but never at your own expense. And especially when you're traveling and you're carrying phones, you get back to your own place first, change your clothing or have a shower, change, you know, always traveling. You've always got to prioritize your stuff, get yourself organized, get your stuff safe before you go out, because you're not used to traveling in that mode. And when you've got the distractions of other people, and he's a loner like me, he's been traveling a lot, and he's going to go to Egypt and all that from here. So he's got a big travel agenda. So that was the cost. He's fine about it. He's just, you know, written it off already. I'm not going to let it get me down. But this is the sort of shit, and it's nothing worse, because you leave the retreat feeling so great, and within a friggin' first gets into the tuk-tuk, finds out his phone's disappeared, whether it fell out his bag and or lost it in the tuk-tuk, but you'll never see that again. Unless it was lost at the cafe. I did say you could go and ask if the cameras down there, you know, saw you put it on, leave it on the table, or someone stole it out of the bag, but I doubt it. He said, nah, he said, I think it was in the tuk-tuk, and it's gone, you know, you'll just buy another one. But yeah, it's the sort of shit that happens. You know, you come out, there's nothing worse, you come out of the retreat, it's like the dark energy's waiting for you just to fucking kick you in the nuts as soon as you get off the boat, you know, with some shit that happens, just to deflate you immediately when you've just left and feeling really good. It's like, you bastard. But you know, that's the way it is. So Ina's off to Puno. I said, oh, I've been down there with Lake Titicaca, and she said, oh, I'll send you pictures. And I sent both her, because Quinn and her Quinn's thinking about coming back in May to do Aya and catch up with Maestro, and then maybe do a Dieta, because I think, you know, they both need what he really does want to take the spirituality thing. He was great to talk to, because he knows all the stuff that I do, you know, that I looked at years ago, all this sort of sacred knowledge stuff, just everything, David Icke, everything. So he was great. We had some great chats and a good laugh here after the ceremony, a couple of nights. And of course, Ina gave me a big hug the next day, and, you know, thanked me for everything. They're a wonderful group, and it was just such a privilege to work with, you know, to see Ina go through what she did, and then talking to Josh when he was with her for 4 hours, and what he went through with her, and how what she was talking about while she was still screaming and trying to get control of her body, until she calmed down. But, you know, Maestro took the bulk of it out, and then Wednesday she was fine. Only had a tiny bit of ayahuasca so he could continue cleaning. Parakeets are loud. And then Friday, he just kind of finished it off, sucking whatever else was left in her head. So she's good. But, you know, so she's got a lot of protection. And for this group, they're privileged now, because I'm able to record the Icaros with Maestro. I take my phone in, so I'm just recording, you know, all the ceremony and all the Icaros, because I'm listening to them, learning them, and they're becoming subconscious in ceremony. When he's singing them, they come back. You can't remember them yourself. Even Cognac, I wouldn't be able to sing Cognac straight the way through myself, even with just a maraca. I'd have to think about it. But in ceremony, where you just, gets the first word and then the rest of the sentence comes. So, there's obviously this aspect of learning by rote. So, but he's been tired. He was going to give Christian just a little ceremony last night, and I thought that'll be interesting because that'll give me something to do Saturday night to sit in. But when I saw Christian, I said, "Are you doing the ceremony tonight?" He said, "No." Maestro said he's too tired, and yeah, I felt the same. Maestro must have been knackered because that group last week, with Inner, and that was, there was a lot of heavy energies in there from Maestro. So, but anyway, that's pretty much 86.